The Cold War wasn't just a battle of spies, missiles, and ideology. It was a war fought in the shadows, a battlefield of secrecy, where governments pushed science beyond all ethical limits, operating behind locked doors and erased records. What the public saw were diplomatic speeches and televised threats. What they never saw, what they were never meant to see, were the experiments conducted in the dark. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, operations were launched under obscure code names. Some have since been declassified, but others remain buried deep within government vaults. The files that have surfaced reference chilling phrases, uncontrolled atmospheric tests, behavioral trials, and unknown biological dispersals. These documents don't read like historical records, they read like warnings from another world. Yet for the people who wrote them, they were instructions. The experiments they never confirmed. Reports, often fragmented and heavily redacted, describe secret tests conducted on entirely unwitting populations. Airborne chemical releases over major American cities. Radiation exposure disguised as routine medical research. Mind-altering substances administered without consent. Extreme psychological stress testing on their own soldiers. And deliberate environmental contamination just to measure the rates of spread. Officially, every single one of these programs was denied. They never happened, until, piece by piece, fragments of the truth began to leak. Unsealed government memos from the era show that entire neighborhoods were used as live test sites, without the public's knowledge or consent. Cities like St. Louis, San Francisco, and even New York appear in reports detailing aerosol dispersal tests. Residents were told the government was testing defensive smokescreens to protect them from a Soviet attack. They were never told what was actually in the chemical clouds that drifted over their homes, their schools, and their playgrounds. In the years that followed, local hospitals saw unusual spikes in illnesses. Cancer clusters emerged, but no one connected the pattern. How could they? The cause was a state secret. Then there were the scientists who vanished from the records. Some of the lead researchers on these projects left abruptly, their work unfinished. Others disappeared from government rosters entirely. Their personal files were removed, and payroll trails that once tracked their careers suddenly ended mid-year. Who were these brilliant minds? What did they discover that was so dangerous it required their very identities to be erased from history? Did they object? Did they see something they weren't supposed to? Or did they become part of an experiment themselves? We may never know. Their names, like their research, were scrubbed. Some projects simply went too far. One declassified report mentions an experiment labeled only as unrecoverable. The word hangs there on the page, a chilling monument to an unknown catastrophe. Another file references a test that was halted prematurely due to an unexpected human response. But every detailed page, every appendix, every footnote that might explain what that means is redacted. Thick black lines cover the text where answers should be. Paragraphs are missing. Dates have been removed. Whatever happened in those labs, whatever unrecoverable truly signifies, the full truth is sealed away in vaults the public will likely never see. Several whistleblowers over the years have described classified storage rooms, hidden archives where boxes containing the raw data from these Cold War experiments were kept under coded categories. Some boxes were marked with a simple word, hazard. Others were labeled return upon inquiry. But many of these boxes mysteriously disappeared during archival transitions. A few resurfaced decades later, found in the wrong place at the wrong time, only for investigators to discover they contained nothing but empty folders. The evidence was gone. This wasn't accidental. It was an intentional erasure. During the 1970s, as congressional committees like the Church Committee began investigating illegal government programs, thousands upon thousands of documents were systematically destroyed. Not lost, not misplaced, destroyed. Burned in incinerators, put through industrial shredders, or simply removed from all official records. The timing was not a coincidence. This was a cover-up. It was containment of the truth on a massive scale. This brings us to the final, haunting question. If this is what we've discovered from the few Cold War documents that survived, the fragments that slipped through the cracks, the pages the redactors missed, then what was in the documents that were successfully erased? What experiments pushed the boundaries of science so far that they had to be burned from history? And the most unsettling thought of all, how many of these programs are still hidden, still active today? Secrecy doesn't keep the past safe. It just keeps the truth out of reach. If you're ready to uncover more Forbidden's archives and explore the stories that were never meant to be told, subscribe to the True Story Files and let us know in the comments what you believe happened during these Cold War experiments.